Hello, in this lecture we'll discuss about the model misspecification of non-nested model, especially using the Davidson-McKinnon J-test. Now for this purpose we have taken the data for personal consumption expenditure and personal disposable income. Now our problem is to study the relationship between the personal consumption expenditure and personal disposable income using the United States of America data from 1970 to 2005 annual series, and measured both the variables are measured in US dollar base year 2008. Now we consider the two rival model, that is per capita personal consumption expenditure, and will be explained with the help of personal disposable income PDPI and the lag of personal per capita consumption expenditure. So in the first model we have used PPC as a dependent variable and PDPI, current period PDPI, as the first expenditure variable, and lag of PDPI, personal disposable income, 1 period lag, as the second expenditure variable. Whereas in the second model, model B, the same variable will be used as a dependent variable, and we are using the current period disposable income as the first expenditure variable and 1 period lag of the personal per capita consumption expenditure as a second expenditure variable. So these two models you can understand easily that they are non-nested model, because model A cannot be derived as a special case of model B, and also model B cannot be derived as a special case of model A. But in both the models the dependent variable is the same, that is PPC, current period PPC, per capita consumption expenditure, and one expenditure variable is also common to both the model. This one is common in both the model. Okay, so we first look into the data set. Let us look into the data set first. Now the data set actually we can see an Excel file. So this is my data set. Look here, we have the annual three variables year 1970 onwards, PPC, per capita personal consumption expenditure, and personal disposable income, and the data is from 1970 to 2005. So, and also look here, the first three rows of the Excel sheet are not required because the variable name is starting from row 4 onwards. Okay, so we will import this data in RStudio and we'll do the rest. Now for importing the Excel file, first we need to load the library read Excel, and then we use this command read underscore Excel, the full file path, column name true, and skip equals 3, and the imported data is saved as data frame called my data. And you can see if we use the head command, head my data frame or my data, you will see the first 6 observations. So 1970 to 1975. Now, as it is a time series analysis, especially with lagged values of the variables, we need to convert them to time series object first. So accordingly, the two variables PDPI and PPCE are converted to time series object using the TS function here, and giving the starting point 1970 and frequency 1 because it is annual series. So similarly, PPC is also being converted to time series object in the same manner. Okay, then we use the library called dynamic LM for regressing the time series regression, for using the time series variable into linear regression model. So accordingly we fit the first model, that is PPCE regressed over lag of PDPI as well as current value of PDPI. So this is the command for taking the lag L PDPI 0:1. That means it will take the current value of PDPI as well as 1 period lag, and we use the summary function to estimate the model, and model is saved as model 1. So by looking into the model summary, we see the R-square value is quite high, and as well as the F statistics value is also very high, and that means overall model is well fit. And by looking into the individual regression parameter, we see the signs are also matching, the income having positive sign, impact on the consumption for both the current as well as the lag income level, but only the current income level is supposed to give statistically significant impact on the current personal consumption expenditure, and 1 period lag of PDPI is giving significant level at a higher level, that is 16% level. So coming to the second model, what do you see? The second model is also we estimate in the same fashion using the Dayan LM function, this function. Then we use PPCE regressed over PDPI current value and lag of PPCE, and look here, we have taken only 1 period lag. And look at the model summary, the R-square value is still very high and the value is also very high. Overall model is well fitted, and both the PDPI and PPCE is giving positive impact on the current value of personal per capita consumption expenditure, and interestingly both are giving out to be significant impact as we seen from the probability value or p-value. Now if we take the discrimination based approach, then if we want to choose the or make a comparison between the model A and model B, it will be really difficult to choose, because in both the cases the R-square value is very high and both are almost equal at 0.99. F value is also very high, statistics is also very high, and in both the cases some of the regression coefficients are significant. In fact in model B both are significant, in model B only one is significant. So this can happen, but comparing the discrimination approach, actually by taking the discrimination approach, it's very difficult to make a judgment between the two models which one is the best. So that's why we go for the Davidson-McKinnon J-test. Now in J-test what we will do, in J-test we first take the information from the rival model and use that information of rival model and into the current reference model or maintained model, and then we see whether the regression parameters of the fitted value of the rival model is statistically significant or not. So if we think the first model A, it will be PPCE as a same dependent variable regressed over current value of PDPI and lag 1 period lag of PDPI personal disposable income, and we add this PPCE B subscript T superscript B. That means the fitted value of model B we are taking into a separate explanatory variable in model A and label as model C. So what is important to us, we have to see actually the coefficients alpha 4, whether alpha 4 is significant or not. That will be our main concern. Okay, if alpha 4 is statistically significant, so according to the Davidson-McKinnon J-test, we choose model 4 or model B over model A. But if alpha 4 is not significant, then model A will be chosen over model B. Okay, so let us estimate this model. So I have first extracted the fitted value of model B and converted the fitted value to a time series object as well. So this particular command fitted model B will extract the model B fitted value, and then we are using this TS function to convert this particular fitted value into a time series object with frequency 1 and starting point 1971, because we are having one period lag here, 1951 also we have to consider. Then we use this model C as an auxiliary of model A. So that is BPC regressed over PDPI, lag of PDPI, and hat or fitted value of model B. Then if we look into the outcome, our main concern will be into this particular coefficient, hat model B. But overall, first let us look at the overall model. Overall model is very good, 99 R square. Value is also highly significant, and this coefficient is coming out to be positive, and not only that, it is highly significant as you see from the p-value. That means once we add the information from the rival model B into model A, and that particular variable is really improving the explanatory power of the model A. That means actually model B is found out to be superior over model A. Okay. Now the same thing we have to repeat for model B as well. So while doing the same thing for model B, considering as a reference model, we need to take the information from model A and put that information into model B. So this is our model, this part is our model A, original model A. Here we add the fitted value of model A, this part, as a separate explanatory variable. So once again, and we call this model T, which is an auxiliary of model B. So main concern will be the beta 4. If beta 4 is statistically significant, then again we choose model 3 over model 4. But if beta is not significant, then model 4 will be chosen over model 3 as the preferred model. So let us now see how we have done it. So we have taken the hat model A as the object name, and then use this particular thing for model A fitted values, and then convert to a time series object using TS function, starting point 1971 and frequency 1 for annual series. Then we apply the model D estimation formula, that is dynamic linear model, PPC regressed over PDPI, lag of PPC, and hat of model A, fitted value of model A. Then if we look into the regression result, once again the R-square value is coming out to be very high, F value is also statistically significant, but our main concern will be in these regression parameters, whether it is statistically significant or not. Now here once again this parameter is also statistically significant like the previous case. So once again, if it is significant means once we add the model A information into model B, model B's explanatory power to explain the dependent variable improves significantly. So here once again model 3, according to this test, model 3 is chosen over model 4, whereas in the previous case model 4 was chosen over model 3. So that means actually we are getting some contradictory or results actually. So that we can summarize in the form of this table. See here I am putting the hypothesis alpha 4 equals to 0 and alpha beta 4 equals to 0 here, and we either reject or do not reject the alpha 4. Similarly we can either reject or do not reject the beta 4. Now we are in both the cases actually we are rejecting the hypothesis. Alpha 4 is also rejected and beta 4 is also rejected. That means we are actually coming into this particular cell, reject both A and B. That means neither model A nor model B is our the desired model or the optimum model. So both the model actually has some limitations. They are not the best model to explain the per capita consumption expenditure. Okay, probably some other economic variables will be there. So the whole things actually we are doing just manually doing the all the regressions, the auxiliary regressions, and then comparing the results. But this is time consuming. Sometimes we need to do it very fast. So in that case, we can use the LM test package actually. Then in LM test package, if you just load the LM test package, library LM test, and then use a command called JTest, which will execute or perform the Davidson-Mackinnon JTest between the two models. So what you have to provide here, JTest model A and model B, that's all. Then R will do the calculation in the backend and it will give you the final results. So what we are getting here, look here, we are getting the same result in fact. So for better understanding, what is our model 1? Model 1 is PPC regressed over current period PTPI and 1 period lag of PTPI. What is model 2? Model 2, PPCE regressed over current value of PTPI and lag of PPCE. Now in model 1 we add the fitted value of model 2, and model 2 we add the fitted value of model 1, and then these particular regression parameters are shown here. Look here, these parameters will be the same that we have estimated manually. So just I am going back to the previous results. You can see here, look here. So this is the regression parameters 1.235 when we add the information from model B into model A, and this is another information when we add model A fitted value into model B, so minus 1.456. So just you see here we get the same results when we use directly the JTest command, 1.2351 and minus 1.4563, and look here, in both the cases they are statistically significant. That means actually when you add model B fitted value in model A, you choose model B over model A, and once you add model A fitted value into model B, you choose model A over model B. That means actually neither of the two model properly explain the dependent variable PPCE. Okay, so that's all about the